guts. Will, you have guts. So we had an order that we were going to put things in, but Will D'Arcangelo decided to do a presentation even though he's never seen one. So we're putting Eric Houghton first because he's seen one. So for those of you who have never been here, PechaKucha was developed essentially in Japan for designers who, if you give them a microphone, will just keep talking and talking and talking. So the slides here, there are 20 slides. They will change every 20 seconds, and your presenter has exactly 6 minutes and 40 seconds to say whatever they have to say. So we're going to start with Eric Houghton, so pressure's on, Eric.
All right.
Woo!
Could you ask them?
Oh, yeah, turn your cell phones off. They don't ring, and then I'll point it out. I'll be that teacher. I'll be like, hey, you. No, I won't do that. You're okay.
Just dance while you're
I've been on the stage. No, I guess.
You will have this slide. You will have a title slide with your name on it.
Okay. I can go? Cool. So, my name is Eric Bowden. I work at Fitchburg State University in IT. This is why my computer hates me. I'm effectively the Mac guy. We don't have a Mac guy, but that's effectively what I do. So to start this off, I guess you come into work in the morning and you're like, all right, I'm going to get my job done, I'm going to check some email, I'm going to be productive today, and then, this happens. Something's not working, all right? You're doing your thing, it's just not happening. So you decided, well, I know a couple things I can do, but those aren't working either. So you reboot the computer, you change your browser, you start to move some files around and copy things into different places, kind of like this. Eventually, you're so confused, and you've tried so many things. You've Googled it, and you're like, oh man, I just don't know what is going on here. It's just so convoluted. I talked fast on my slide. Sorry. So then after this, you resolve that I'm going to go to IT. I got to bring this IT. I got to put a notice on it, something like that. I have to go to IT. Now, I can either talk on the phone. No, I don't want to do that. I got to bring it over and have to talk to these people. So you show up at IT, and you're greeted by one of our friendly help desk techs, and they say, hey, how you doing today? We're happy to help you, and we're glad to see you came, and we're happy to give you the time and fix your problem. Most of the time people walk in, it used to be the most common thing people said was, my computer hates me. And we're like, well, great. We're glad you have that emotional relationship with your computer. Fantastic. Other times now it's really like, the internet doesn't work. Or, I can't get to this page. And you're like, well, that doesn't provide you with any information. There's nothing there we can grasp. We can't take anything out of that besides from having heard it before. So after hearing it and looking at it, we go, okay, well, here's some things we can try. But really what it comes down to is you need to be able to listen to the information and get things out of it. And when I was a kid, I was that nerdy kid in middle school. No one really talked to me. I did like one friend. And what I really got out of that whole experience was at one point I had to go to a peer mediation session with one of my peers. Now this is middle school. It didn't really work. But what I gained out of it was really the teacher saying that, you're a good listener. You should try peer mediation later on. You should try doing this. So I went through the program a couple years later, and I learned how you can get two people to talk to one another. You can get them to talk and listen to what each other are saying, and have the problem that they're working on be understood by both parties. So by going through that, I think I really picked up the skills needed to actually listen to people's problems, and not just hear what they're saying, but actually interpret it and figure out a way where they can understand what they're trying to ask for as well, in a way that I'm seeing. I think I picked up this listening habit from my family, specifically my dad and his side of the family. When I was younger, we worked on my first computer together. It was a Dell Gateway Ubuntu box. We built it, we put it all together, and did all this crazy stuff. But what really happened is my dad loves explaining things. And he would explain to me, this is how this worked, this is how that worked. And he would explain so much almost all the time, so you just got used to it. He comes home from work now, and he'll explain his boiler stories. So he'll be like, so I was at this basement, and I was fixing this boiler, and we were working on it, fixing this pipe, and the controller was broken. And I'm like, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. I really don't. I'm not Mr. Handyman. So we just started listening to his stories. You just listen to it and you become friendly. You're not going to tell him to shut up. He's my dad, okay? You're not going to be like, Dad, I don't want to listen to you. you're dead. You're going to keep hearing it. So, with the listening from all of my father's experience and hearing all of that, and all of the peer mediation stuff that I got together, it really comes back to how you interact with the people who come into the help desk. So when you're greeted by your friendly IT guy, you come in and we say, hey, have you restarted your computer? Have you done this? Have you done that? We start to look at what you've done and what's causing the problem. What is the issue that you're having? A lot of times you said, well, I tried this, I tried that. We say, try it again so we can confirm. And then we think of alternative ways to solve the problem. So maybe you'll need to use a different browser. You'll need to restart your computer. Or maybe you'll have to go around and I don't know, run around the track and then come back to us because we'll fix it. I don't really know what the solution is, but we'll come up with these different alternative ways. And what we're looking at is what the computer is thinking. How is it handling the different steps you're telling it? So is it going, hey, I need to do this, then this, then this, and well, on this step it's breaking, so if this step's breaking, let's try going to a different step. So you look at all this code, and most of this, honestly, I don't know what half that means, but I know what the important parts of it mean, and that's where I can follow it and say, this is where it's breaking. So knowing how the computer is thinking about it, you can look at what the computer's actually saying. It's saying on and off, ones and zeros, binary language. So when your computer's doing things, it's doing all these dramatic and crazy processes that you're thinking of, it's really turning things on and off in binary when you get down to the root of it. So with the binary language, that means I have to then take your computer and work on it in a way where you can understand how your computer is saying on and off. It used to be, you had just the green screen and you had the code that you type in. Now you have all these windows and interfaces you can actually interact with, and you have a lot just of checkboxes. So it's a checkbox, that means it's on. Unchecked means it's off. Same as a mouse press, you press down, means it's on, press down, means it's off. Really what we're doing is we're listening to your computer and figuring out what it's saying, and then we're listening to you and seeing what it's saying, and then combining the two in a way where it says, okay, here's the problem, let's fix it together. Half the time, some people don't fix it together, they just want you to fix it. That's okay, that's what we're there for. And sometimes, like this, the computer can't do anything, so it just, you can't do much with the computer, you gotta start again. But the whole real idea of it is listening to both parties. And the language of the computer and the language of the person are what come together to make your workday easier and what you're trying to do better. So in the end of it, we're really trying to make sure that you, or my goal anyway, is to make sure that you are not inhibited by the technology that you're working with, but more so that the technology is there to improve the work that you're doing. And there's always one saying that we keep coming back to in IT, and it's because it always works. Or if it doesn't work, it's a great first step. And that is to make sure you turn it on and off. That's what the computer's thinking, and that's what we're trying to get you to understand as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Whoa. Wow. So you guys have a few minutes to wander around and get another drink and hang around, or ask Eric any questions about a Mac that you might possibly have. Feel free to whip out your iPhone or your laptop while you've got him here. He's our genius that keeps us from killing people at work. So I'm going to put on the loop that you saw before, but feel free to walk around and get another drink or something to eat. And Will D'Arcangelo, you're next.
Woo! Woo!